Akira, calling her bitter, jealous, and broken. Online, people reacted. $1.7 million for a man?
I'm 25 years young. I am a wife and a mother of two. Being in 5th grade, I had a teacher that helped me find out what my learning disability was and how to conquer those adversities that I came to.
I want to work with children with disabilities. I want to work with children hearing impaired. I want to work with all types of children that's in that arena. Like,
she really helped me conquer the fear of not being able to be like everybody else or succeed like everybody else. But
I don't never want to compare my situation to nobody else. Because
she helped me understand that my disability was really an ability. So that was very exciting to me and very impressionable because it actually helped me carry that all the way through life. I'm still remember that conversation. I still use it to this day. I am excited to apply what she gave me to my teaching experience because I want to let my students know that I am there for you.
I'm going to school to be a teacher.
Whenever you need me, because you may not get it at home or they might not understand what you're going through academically because they're at work or trying to put you through school, you know? I really want to be like your parent away from your parent that helps guide you through life, you know? I want to leave my mark so that, you know, you can use whatever I teach you at a young, impressionable age up until you're an adult. You can take it with you through the rest of your educational career. And that's what I'm most excited about teaching my students.
You know the saying, you never tell your left hand what your right hand's doing or something.
Let me tell you something.
They were playing right in Akira's face the whole time, just trifling.
We about to cook, y'all. Okay, tell me about to cook.
Hibachi.
That's what we're cooking. Okay. Ooh.
Okay, so here's the right one. Okay.
Why you look at the face?
Okay. That's nice.
Hey!
I'm sorry.
So hungry. Y'all think by saying justice for that girl in my comments is supposed to make me what? Shake in my boots? Keep saying it. I don't care.
Kia. I want to, whatever I get, I need a 7-seater because I do plan on having more kids.
Dream is getting washed.
She talked about how, y'all, Akira was pregnant with her 3rd child in November, December of 2023. Akira was pregnant with her 3rd child in December of 20. If y'all go out and come back in, Akira was pregnant with her 3rd child of November and December of 2023. She miscarried that baby. Robin asked her about, had brought up the 5-year. She was just showing that, saying that you would see that my client were going to do a 5-year vow renewal. During that time that Renee was over there, y'all, the girl was pregnant with the 3rd child. She talked about how she put Tim out. She said she put him out of the house. Yeah, she put him out the house. If it's breaking up, y'all go out and come back in. When I tell you this is crazy, y'all, when I tell y'all, if you couldn't even hold your tears in if you wanted to. So basically she was like, they had a good marriage. They was like 2 big kids in a marriage. She said we just had the basic problem. Excuse the noise, they doing something out here. They had like the basic the basic issues that any couple would have in a marriage, which was financial. When Tim went to school, he was off to college in another area. Akira's job was to literally take care of everything. And if Tim needed something, she would make sure that he had what he needed. She stated that also that, you know, he was on a football scholarship, so that means he had to stay on campus. The goal was, or the what's the word I want to use? The deal that they made was Akira would take care of everything, so basically she was the breadwinner while Tim go to school. Once he get out of school, he was supposed to take care of the family. Then Akira go to school and complete school. That didn't happen. That wasn't the plan. Thank you guys. So that wasn't the plan. Tim actually didn't do what he was supposed to do. She held up her end of the bargain and Tim didn't. She talked about Devin and she stated that I did not have a close relationship like that with Devin because my daddy taught me boundary when you're dealing with somebody else's man. She said because that was Brene's husband, I didn't have a whole lot of interaction with Devin because that was Brene's husband. And she stated that, you know, she kept that distance and that boundary between them. She had general conversations with him, but, you know, she just believed in boundaries. And she said, something Brene don't have. Baby, when I tell you, once she got herself together, she was able to talk. She got teary-eyed when they asked her about the children. She stated that that Tim graduated in 2023 of December. They went on a cruise. She went on a cruise with their family. She talked about Brene. You know how Brene kept saying in the interrogatories that she didn't wasn't at the home. Akira said they had her mom have a cottage and it's small and they had like an open floor and they would all just be around and they would just, you know, talk about each other, laugh and giggles. I mean, she started smiling during that time because you can tell her she was reminiscing back to like some very good memories. It's very sad that Brene would literally downplay their relationship as if they didn't have nothing. Let me tell y'all this as relates to Akira them relationship. Y'all, she act like, okay, so y'all know when I had told y'all that when Brene and Devin did, I mean, Tim did put Brene and Devin together. And she said that her and Brene had been friends since 2019, during the time that her son was born and he was in the NICU. She talked about how Korean had came in and you know, had Korean was there too. I can't even, it was so much, like I couldn't even get that part because I was literally trying to write down as much as I could, which I ain't even, listen, I'm gonna have to review my notes line up on line and detail up on details to let y'all know every single thing because I've been trying to write it down. But she said that Brene was at the hospital when the baby was in the NICU, like she's been in their life. And she said they identified Brene as auntie. Those were her children, auntie, and Devin was their uncle. They gave them that title, her and Tim. He act like that this stuff was foreign to him. Oh, baby, let me tell you about Lakeisha Jones up in there trying to intimidate us. We sitting and listening, and she's so fucking rude. When I say rude, she over there, this how she look, doing like this, looking at me. She looking at me, Barbie, and Caramel, just looking. I'm talking about staring. You thought you was gonna stare me down, motherfucker? Oh, no, not today, baby, because what I did was I looked at her like this. I smiled and I said, I winked at her. I winked at her. Barbie was rolling her eyes, but I winked at her. Because why you over there? So Caramel got up and told the bailiff that she was over there, you know, doing shit. Because if it was us, you be trying to get us kicked out. But why you over there doing the most? You act like when I really thought that lady was grown and mature, but she act just like her damn children, immature. Because why you sitting over there? Nobody is bothering you. And it's like, you know, she was staring so damn hard that, you know, you can tell when somebody looking at you. So I just so happened, you know, turn my head to the left because we locked eyes. And when we locked eyes, she just looking. So I just started looking back to her like this too. And so she kept looking and she wouldn't blink. So I looked at her like this and I smiled and I said, just like that, I should have said, that's what I should have did to her. She better not do it no more. So Caramel got up and told it, and you know, the baby was looking at, I don't know if he said no, but like, she was just doing too much in the court. She got up doing Robin's open statement and walked out. And then when she came back in, she gonna say, ooh, she still up talking? Y'all, when I tell y'all, I'm gonna have to get some tissue going back in there. I'm gonna have to get some tissue because as soon as Akira got on the stand, baby, she just was literally crying. And you can tell it hurt. Akira was diagnosed with anxiety and depression because of what she went through in her marriage. Now, they gonna have the her therapist notes and all of that has been put into the files as far as evidence to produce. They've been showing it up on the big screen, like the videos. They've been showing like the Facebook posts. you know what I'm saying, that does display the dates and time of the video and stuff like that. Like, they not playing. And then they ask, like, she'll present it as an exhibit and say she would like to omit it, and then she would like to produce it. And so when she produced it, that means that they're going to put it on the screen and allow everybody in the courtroom. Baby, Robin had about, I'm gonna say probably about 12 folders, binders, not folders, binders of evidence. Let me tell you how many exhibits she had. 154 or 156 is one of the two. When I tell you of evidence. And then she was like, do you want me to present like the videos individually? Because she said, I got 50 videos. Y'all, when I say I really believe this is going to go over until tomorrow. And I don't know if we'll be finished tomorrow. I just need to know, baby, because God is going to be here to stay. Like, Brene, like, she's still on Akira. And so when we only did like 2 exhibits out the 154 or 56 that Robin has, we only did 2 exhibits. We ain't even made it to another witness. Do y'all understand me? We have not even made it to another witness. We still on Akira. And it was so crazy because, can you imagine, like, also too, Robin pointed out that Akira had asked him why him and Brene were so close. As any woman should, you know what I'm saying, with their spouse. She said, why are they so close? That was crazy. That was some crazy work. Like, why are they so close? My heart, this is even worse. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that I know Brene had to know that girl was pregnant with their 3rd child. And listen, this makes it so much worse, you guys. Because you're talking about you're pregnant with your 3rd child. Okay? And then you find out, because she said around November, December is when she found out about the baby, that she was pregnant, that she was actually pregnant. She got pregnant. And so let me tell you this too. So when Robin had said that, she was pointing out the fact that Akira and Tim was still being intimate and having relations as they should, as married couples do. You understand what I'm saying? So she was showing that, yeah, there was still love and affection between the parties because they created another little life. Do you hear me? They created a whole nother life, a 3rd child, and she talked about a 5th vow renewal. Tim over there shaking his damn head when he was like, no, it was not any love and affection. I gotta stop. I gotta keep it professional. You know doggone well it was some love and affection if you make, because I always say that those babies were created out of love. He knew doggone well that him and his wife had some love and affection. You know what I'm saying? You knew you and your wife had some love and affection. He looking stupid. Brene is looking stupid. And we still waiting for her truth to come out. Nobody even knew that Akira was pregnant with the 3rd baby. Like, who would have known that? That was tea for me. That was tea for me, baby. Can you imagine being pregnant with your 3rd child, finding out your husband and your close friend, because she did. She said that girl was hurt. That girl, when I tell you Akira is hurt deep down in her soul. And not only that, y'all, she talked about how, because Tim was away, how at school, Brene is the person who would literally help her with her children. So Brene would get the babies and babysit for her. But she wanted to sit up here and act like they was acquaintances. Somebody melt me like butter. Please, melt me like butter. How can you downplay that? You babysitted for this girl when she picked up extra hours at work to make ends meet. No, Akira was pregnant with her and Tim's 3rd child during the time all of this went down. So I can imagine, like, and then she miscarried that baby. She miscarried that baby, and I don't know how far along she was when she miscarried the baby. I don't know if that would come out in court, but when I tell y'all this is so heartbreaking, it is so heartbreaking. I'm gonna have to give me some tissue when I go back in, because I be so emotional. I ain't gonna lie to you, and I'm gonna tell y'all. So I'm looking at the juror. I'm looking at everybody's face in the courtroom. The jury, you know, is literally mostly women. It's 4 men. This is how they looking. One lady, and it's mostly, we only got 2 black people on the jury. 2 black people, and they 2 older ladies. That lady was looking like this. When I tell y'all, Robin, ooh, not only is Robin going to have the sympathy of the jury, but the sympathy along with the facts is what's going to seal this case. Because no, it's not led about sympathy. But the way that Robin opened up, baby, we could have closed out. She could have opened and closed, and we could have just went on ahead and did a judgment. Do you hear me? Then and there, because it was top tier. And then also she had some wording on her slideshow. And the judge, she was like, plaintiff relationship. She said plaintiff's relationship with the defendant prior to the affair. The judge had made her take that down, take it off. So her team took it off. Like, she said, Judge, can you give my team time to remove the words from the slideshow? But we didn't even need them words because the proof in the pudding. And then not only that, she let them know that this is a video that Brene Kennard posted on YouTube. Baby, when I say, I wish there was it could be audio for you guys. I really wish it could be audio for you guys, because I'm not even going to give it any justice as to, you know, being able to read the room, looking at the expression. You can tell like this, like you have to be Ray Charles to not know how deeply hurt Akira is. Not only that, baby, y'all remember when Brene was talking about, oh, Akira is going to keep her name. She's going to be the Miss Montague, and I'm going to be the Mrs. Montague. Oh, Robin had pointed how she flaunted that in Akira's face on social media. She talked about her she talked about how bold and arrogant Brene has been. She talked about how she didn't show no remorse in literally tearing up a home. There are several binders. Let me say this. There are several binders. You have one binder, nothing but exhibits with pictures of the slideshow and of the stuff. So let me tell y'all this. So Brene gonna say, when she had said, do the defendant, the judge asked, well, do the defendant have this, you know, videos and stuff? She gonna say, no, two of the videos I couldn't open. The judge looked at her. He looked at her. He gonna say, well, Miss Kennard, you signed off that you had all the accurate information. Let me run, y'all. Y'all know I'm dramatic. Let me run. He told her, well, you signed off and said that you had what you received what you had. And she gonna say, well, two of the videos were not open. Well, shit, you should have told them that, and you should not signed it until the other two open for you. Like, girl. Also, too, she have two, I think they're legal aides. They are there, I guess, to kind of help guide her. They are two Caucasian ladies that were sitting off in the left side of her, like at a distance, but not at the table with her. Y'all, when I say y'all, like y'all talk about us being here, but baby, I couldn't miss this. This is like, this is some low key, infamous. Let me say that, infamous stuff. This is some low key infamous stuff. This is like, you know, the stuff that you like, y'all, I know, like y'all would have not known any of this had we not come. If there was no boots on the ground, because I know people say, y'all so invested. Oh, y'all do this, y'all flew. I sure did. God, it took off for the whole week. Yes, somebody had to be here to tell the story, baby. Y'all would have not known this. And it kicked off when Devin opened up his mouth to tell his side of the story. And we would have went on with Renee's narrative that this was this and that was that. We wouldn't even have known if we had not come today. I don't think we really, like, this, the stuff that we have not seen. Also, Robin pointed out that Akira is a very private person. Do you hear me? Akira is a very private person. She has a very private life. She keeps a very low profile. However, due to Brene doing what she did, it exposed her to the world. She talked about how Brene was on live exposing this girl marital issues. You know what I'm saying? Exposing her marital issues with Tim. That she never wanted the world to be in her business like this. Akira never wanted the world to know what was going on between she and her husband. But she didn't have that opportunity because to keep everything private and confidential, because you had Brene putting everything out here on social. When I tell y'all, this right here ain't for the weak. Like, I deal with court cases. I do get teary-eyed, and you know what I'm saying? I could have walked out, and I wanted to walk out because when I tell you, like, it was so emotional. Yes, $90. Yep, she pointed out how Tim only provided $90 within the whole year. Well, within over a year. Do you hear me? She pointed it out. Y'all, we just scratching the surface. We are literally scratching the surface of this case. right now. Akira was crying. Akira got on the stand, and it was immediately there were emotions, and because you can tell, you can see, you know, we haven't been recording her. You know, we've been trying to, you know, just make sure. Like if I wish we do have permission, we got permission. Let me say this: God has got permission. I personally asked in the hallway, was it okay for me to, not to Akira, but I personally asked, was it okay if we would, you know, take footage? And so you don't see me taking pictures of Akira's face or anything like that. I got a beautiful shot of her and her mom. That's on T-Time page. She was holding hands with her mom, and they was far off. I waited till they got down the hall, and then I took a picture of them from a distance, just to kind of show, you know, that relationship between mother and daughter. Like it was really beautiful, really beautiful. So I just been like really mindful of, you know, taking pictures. I'm not in anybody's face. Like even when I record, I'm at a distance, but I zoom in. So if y'all see videos of close up, I'm not in anybody's face. I'm just, they zoom in for, they put zoom in for an option, zoom out for an option. It's a reason. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to get in nobody's face to you know, take a picture. So if y'all see a picture that is close up from Guardians, it's because I zoomed in. I was taking, I was actually like recording like this. Till mom walked up and got in my camera. You know what I'm saying? And my back was turned towards her. So I'm just trying to make sure that I stay respectful of people's space. You know what I'm saying? That I know it's a lot. Yesterday, you know, there was a lot of recording. I think they said something this morning that Renee was talking about, oh, she was scared, this, that. I can't see y'all comments, y'all, because of the sun. She was scared and stuff like that. But they wanted to get on the elevator, and I told them, if y'all hear somebody saying no, that's me. I told them, no, don't get on the elevator with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just too much. So they wanted to get on the elevator, but, you know, it's more of you. For them, for a lot of people, it's more of, this is what Akira felt when you were doing what you were doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, us being here really makes her uncomfortable. But also, too, you know what I'm saying? We watch you tell a bunch of lies. We watch you antagonize Akira. We watch you. Robin brought out the fact that, baby, let me tell you, Robin brought out the fact that Akira had to put out 3 restraining orders against Renee. It was 1 for her, and then the other 2 was 1 each for her children. Not only that, she talked about, this is what she said. When Akira got on the stand, when she got herself together, because, you know, I said she started crying. When she got herself together, she was like, she was a close friend of mine who is now my stalker. Baby, let me say it loud for the folks in the back. Y'all know I gotta be a little dramatic. I had to run on that one. Listen, she said she was my close friend who is now my stalker. Baby, it is recorded. The court reporter put it down. It will be forever written down in history that Renee is her stalker. Do you hear me? That girl said she was my close friend, but she's now my stalker. She say bully. She said stalker. She said stalker. I'm gonna see if I can get them transcripts before I leave. We gotta be back at 2, y'all, so we're gonna have to chub some food down. I'm gonna get off. Y'all can join on everybody else live. I'll be back. I wrote down, I took notes, y'all. I just want to give y'all some tea, because baby, this is not for the week. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit, y'all. I don't know who sent me a cash app, but thank you guys. You all don't have to. Again, you all don't have to, but I do appreciate it. Thank you guys. But Barbie is on live, so you all can go over there, because I'm going to get off. I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to be back, because I need to be front and center to look at everybody's face so that I can get y'all some good details, y'all. I'm going to go word for word as another time, like, to break it down to you guys, because this is wild. When I say this is wild, it's so heartbreaking. I need y'all to understand how heartbreaking this is. Y'all gonna get me to 1 million likes before I get out. When I say this is so heartbreaking, this is so heartbreaking. Y'all, I didn't know if I wanted to leave after court to come to report. And I was just like, I'm gonna miss something if I do. But baby, I'm probably gonna make a couple videos, maybe like later on, to post them in the morning with like some very good like detailed stuff. But they working, excuse the loud noise. Thank you guys for the 1 million. Thank you guys so much. But like, pray for Akira. If I would say anything, just like pray for her. Pray for her. I know this is like tea for us. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Baby, we gonna hear Devin. Devin ain't got on the stand. Robin say Devin will testify to show. I don't know where the first cousin came from, because it may have been in the court documents, but I don't say first cousin, I just say cousin. But Devin is going to be on the stand to testify. Tim going to be on the stand to testify. Baby, go to Barbie Live. I'm finna get off. I love you guys. If y'all don't follow. I'm gonna get myself together. I'm so emotional. And like I always say, you have to be not human to not be emotional. But today was worse than yesterday. Today was worse than yesterday. And hey, how y'all doing? Today was worse than yesterday. I felt like jury number 2. I wanted to vomit. I didn't think that was possible for me. I felt like I wanted to vomit. I felt like my stomach was in knots. Tim was hunching on Korean multiple times. When I say multiple times, when I say that girl played in Devin's face, y'all, it was so heartbreaking. And this is the part that I want to talk about. Devin and Akira were texting each other, and they was actually like viewed the messages of them talking, and they was just checking in, like, how are you doing? Y'all, that stuff was so heartbreaking. When I say it was so heartbreaking, because they both was like, he was like, do you blame yourself? And she was like, yes. And she had said why. Because, she should have, put her foot down and not even allowed the friendship. Devin was like, he blamed himself as well, because Korean, he was hunching on Korean. Tim was hunching on Korean multiple times. Do you hear me? I don't know nothing about, please don't ask me nothing about Korean kids. I don't know nothing about her kids. But he was, during the time Tim and Akira were married, he was hunching on that girl multiple times. And like the messages between Akira and Devin, it was just like, man, I'm talking about, we ain't talking about tears. I'm talking about like, Jay was over there boo-hooing. When I say the level of disgust, I would like, if I didn't have nothing to lose, baby, the way I want to be all over that girl, if I didn't have nothing to lose, like, it's just that bad. Like, how Devin can't fight her, let me fight for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything I literally been saying to you guys from day one has been true. Everything that I've been saying to you guys. That conversation that Devin had in the car when he blew up Brene's narrative, baby, they played Devin's whole audio to Akira. And, he was just telling Akira, this was the part, he was just like, the reason he wouldn't tell her because he didn't want to break up her home. He thought about her feelings. He thought about her children's feelings. And, and Akira was like, I was mad at Devin for not telling me. Y'all, Akira didn't find out this shit until July 11th of 2024. That's when Devin had told. So y'all know the story behind when Brene had, y'all listen to this, that Devin booked up at Brene was a lie. He said that night, Tim came over. The day before that happened, Tim came over that night. He was like, Brene had, didn't want him to touch on her no more. So this night, she was like, he started touching on her, and she was like, oh, let me stop before my feelings come back. For your husband, let me stop before my feelings come back. And so he asked her, like, where you sleeping at tonight? And she lied like she was gonna sleep with him, but she slept with Tim in the beauty room on a mattress. Devin said he was so mentally effed up. He said he was so mentally effed up, he didn't know what to do. He was like, I didn't know if I should pray to God, if I should go in there and basically slap the fuck out of both of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, when I tell y'all these people done went through some mental stuff for real, that we couldn't even imagine at this level. He was just like, his mental was messed up. It was like his mental was just messed up. Just messed up. I'm talking about, when I say messed up, like messed up. And he was like, y'all, I'm messed up, shit. And listen, we all messed up. We all are messed up. I will. When I get the chance to, I will. So he was like, he woke up that morning and he called her dad. She was real mad. So he was like, they had an argument about, you know, he was like, he was so messed up that he confronted Brene, you know, about what she did. And he was like, you know, he normally don't be loud, but his tone was a little aggressive, because it was like he just didn't, you know, he was losing it. So he confronted her, and they, you know, they got into it or whatever, but he was like, I never raised my hand. I never raised my hand to act like I was gonna even hit Brene. So apparently Tim is there. You know what I'm saying? Tim is there during the time this happened. So Brene was like, well, let me go to my mom's house. Because y'all know I kept saying, why you didn't go to your mom's house? Out of anybody's house. Okay, thank you, Ashley. Out of anybody's house, why you didn't go to your mama's house? Oh, that wasn't her idea. She was going to go to her mama's house until Tim told her, no, you going to come to our house. Tim suggested that Brene comes to their house and basically told Akira that Devin was about to hit Brene, and that's why Akira allowed her in the home. Because he was like, if she had went to her mom's house, then her mom would have called, you know, and been, you know, asking about it. That girl was like, she felt so betrayed. Brene felt she was a backstabber. She was like, Devin, she was mad at Devin, but, you know, she appreciate him, you know, for considering, you know, her family, not wanting to break up her family and things of that nature. Y'all, when I tell y'all my stomach was in knots, Brene sitting over there like just still nonchalant. Y'all, we was up in court, and we was actually in the courtroom. So they told us to wait so that Brene them can go out first. You know what I'm saying? And I told the bailiff, nobody finna say, I say nobody finna hurt them. Ain't nobody gonna put their hands on that girl. So they just taking it out like, oh, I sure did. Because when I tell y'all, I was so ready to get up out of there. And then, listen, I'm finna show y'all. So, this them, they taking their time. I said, oh my God, hurry up. You know what I'm saying? Cause like now we just, you, it's like you purposely doing it. So then Brene started walking, and I said, any day I did. In court, I sure did. Court was over with, but I was like, any day now. Cause like literally, when I tell y'all I wanted to get that girl, when I say I've gotten out that era of wanting to fight, but y'all, when I tell y'all that stuff pissed me off so bad. And I'm gonna tell you what hurt me so bad is the fact you sat up here and you got on social media and you act like Akira is the fucking villain and she not. That's my problem with her, is that you act like Akira is the villain, like Akira really did something to you, and you've been playing in this girl's face and your husband's face this whole time. You've been telling your supporters, you've been telling everybody on the internet, oh, you're gonna look so stupid when the truth come out, and we ain't heard the truth yet from you. Because what Akira said got fucking evidence to back up everything she said. Do y'all hear me? She got evidence to back up everything she has said. Y'all, when I say I'm so disgusted and I'm so angry, and I mean angry as a human being, that another human being would be so nasty and disgusting. And not only that, Robin asked her, well, has she ever apologized? She said no. Has she shown any remorse? She said no, and today proves it. Brene don't care. I pray they put millions on top of millions on top of millions of her damn head. That girl needs to be humble. Do you hear me? She do not care. She's sitting in the courtroom. Then gonna tell the judge that she didn't hear the audio. So the judge sent the juror out because he was like, well, I want to hear it. And Robin said, well, let me put it on record. We sent it to her twice. And then the part where it was like, in the beginning, he was saying, he basically told Akira that he was sleeping with Korean. And she couldn't stop, they were sleeping multiple times together. Tim over there just shaking his head, thinking the shit was funny. And it wasn't. That's my thing. They over there thinking it's a joke. Y'all, I'm talking about when I tell you the jurors were over there, face red, because, most of them Caucasian. We got 2 black people on the jury. The rest of them, they can't hide it. One lady was crying. When I tell you it's so sickening, I have never in my life witnessed nothing like this. Let me tell you what this feels like, a murder case. This feels like a murder case that we are part of, because you can't imagine. I mean, I understand people, we talk about, oh yeah, people sleep with other people's husbands. They do it all the time. But baby, it's the way that we ain't never seen people carry out this type of foolishness in real time. Do you hear me? We ain't never seen nobody carry out this type of foolishness and then want to act like Devin and Akira are the villains. Brene walking out the court like this when I kept saying any day now, this her. Oh, I told the bailiff, can you just push her on out? Can you just push her on out the door? They played the video of her talking about Akira being Mrs. Montague and how ridiculous it is to keep her name. And this, that, and the third. And Akira was like, my children are just starting to learn how to spell their first, middle, and last name. And she was like, if something happened to my kids and my name is different and I gotta, she said, I don't want to have to go through that. I earned my name. When I tell y'all, Brene is a sick individual. The mama sick, Korean sick, the sister sick. The brother probably be the only person that's same in the daddy. The mama failed them girls. And she need a good old, and her mama failed her. Let me tell y'all what was the most powerful statement that Akira made, because she had reached out to Brene like, can I talk to you? Are you and Tim a thing? And so when I tell y'all Akira's heart is a heart of gold, call it weakness, call it whatever y'all want to call it. But when I tell you that girl has a heart of gold, she has a heart of gold. And they was asking, why did you text her and say, asking her, because she asked to have a conversation. Brene didn't want to have no conversation with her. And then she was like, because, and she was like, I need to have a conversation with you because I don't want no bad blood between us. And then Attorney Robin was like, well, why did you say that? She said, because my mama taught me, you fix things, you don't leave things the way that they are. You resolve it and you keep moving. You know what I'm saying? And so Brene had the audacity to text this girl and tell her that that's not your husband. Y'all, when I say I could have melted, she texted that girl and told that girl that wasn't her husband.
They weren't friends, they weren't anything.
Brene evil is. She had the audacity to tell that girl that wasn't her husband. She never gave her, talked to her. When I say Brene played that girl, because Like, even Caramel Love was like, well, I don't think they was closed like that. Shit. Locked in. Her and Akira were locked in. And for that girl to say that, act like she didn't know her. She act like she didn't know her. And when I say she downplayed the closeness of their relationship, y'all. Listen, I was literally had the little shakes. That's just how disgusting it. Like, we ain't even giving it justice. You'll have to literally be in there. Like, my stomach was in knots. At one point, I felt a little nauseated. I really like couldn't kind of control myself. Like, even when we got ready to go out of court, like, I'm still teary-eyed. I'm still crying. Like, I'm like just trying like God, just get your emotions together. You guys to be a nasty. And I'm gonna tell y'all this. So Akira was like, I was taught, basically like to just love and forgive. And she was like, I just pray for her and pray that she get the love that she never had. Baby, she ate with that one. She said, I just forgive her. She said, I pray for her and I pray that she get the love that she never had. I said, ooh, baby, that ate. That ate. I said, ooh, baby. That ate. I said, ooh, baby, that ate. That ate, honey. Baby, yes. The love she never had, baby. And she said it so humbly. And it was so pure. That came from a pure heart, y'all. Only a pure heart can speak like that. Do you hear me? Only a pure heart. When I tell y'all, the stuff that we see in movies, baby, we seeing it play right before us in real time. They, I don't know anything about text messages between Corinne and Tim, but they didn't allow the juror to hear about, what he said about Tim and Corinne, because it just really didn't hold no weight. And that's why I be trying to tell people the situation with Tim, them, and Corinne that's irrelevant to the case. So Brene wanted to get the whole thing, knocked out. The judge looked at her and told her, she said, it's not relevant. It's not relevant. He looked at her. He said, Mr. Nard, it's overruled. It's relevant. She tried to say it wasn't relevant. It was about her and her husband. And that girl husband. And you want to sit there and say that it wasn't relevant, girl? Slow. Yes, there. W. Thank you. When I tell you that girl need her ass whooped, I ain't seen nothing like it. Nothing. Just in disbelief. Do you hear me? Oh, muffled audio, my bad. Y'all, like, I don't know if I'm gonna come back after this. I think I'm gonna have to take my time to like really, I'm gonna try. But I gotta digest. I really gotta digest, cause this was horrible. Like, can you imagine we hearing this for the first time and literally trying to process it? But when I tell y'all, listen, and y'all know when Devin was like, when she kept talking about, oh, they knew, they didn't know shit. They didn't know nothing. They started putting two to two together, but they didn't know. You understand what I'm saying? She went, they knew. Girl, you a lie. You are a liar, and the truth ain't in you at all. Come on, they knew. So, y'all know when she was like, Devin was like, I told y'all that part about Devin in the wife gave you an arousal because his wife was probably sitting next to him and gave you one. I told y'all that part about Devin being in the room. I think I'm finna say something else. Her obsession. And y'all used to say, no, she has not cross-examined Brene yet. The voice note So when we came back, they split the voice notes up, like just only said sessions of it. And Brene was like, you know, man, I'm telling you, when I say Devin had gave Akira like the whole rundown from start to finish of what happened, like that stuff was so sickening. Akira was like, she just bust out the cry. That's Caramel Love. She on her live. How did Devin find out about Tim and Corinne? Now, that I got to get clear on, because the audio was so low, it almost sounded like he said that when he was going to see Brene, Tim was coming with him. That's what it sounded like. Caramel, did you hear? Did Devin say that, you know, in the audio, that when he was going to see Brene, Tim was coming with him? What did he say? It was so low.
It was so low. I don't remember that hearing.
But
So
he confirmed that they were sleeping together multiple times. Initially in the court document, it stated that Tim had told him that he has been with Corinne multiple times. Like, we thought it was one time. Like, when I read the court document, I thought it was one time, but it was multiple times. Thank you, love. Why he let it happen if he knew? So why he let it happen if he knew he was married? I don't understand you, Ashley Sue. What you mean? What did the mama do? Sitting there looking stupid. They can't do nothing. How long is the trial? I don't know. I don't think we'll be finished today. Now I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap it up today. I mean, I'm gonna extend my flight because I wasn't supposed to leave until tomorrow, but I gotta extend my stuff. I gotta extend my reservation for my vehicle. I'm gonna extend my stay for the hotel, and I need to extend my plane ticket. Something on my edges. Ain't nothing on there. They just curling up. Drop your cat. My CA. Moderator, can y'all put my CA up in the thing and pin it? Oh, right here. You was talking about right there. That was like a look. I don't know if that was a bug or a little something from the tree. I don't think it was a bug. They need to give. Thank you, Tea Time. They literally need to pay Akira. Like, oh, I know what I was finna say. So Brene was sitting up there and was trying to get the audio dismissed and was talking about it wasn't relevant to the case. That girl should have had a lawyer. How was Tim reacting? Shaking his head because he know he caught. Now this my thing. Tim really wasn't planning on getting caught like that. Brene effed him up real bad. They just effed each other up. You missed why I was crying because it just been an emotional day. Like I was crying, and for me, like it was like when I tell y'all we took a 20. We was crying so, and I ain't talking about like a little teardrop. I'm talking about you couldn't stop the tears from flowing. If y'all had read those messages, now like we can see the messages. They was only discussing parts of the messages in the courtroom. They was only pointing out, like highlighting certain messages, but because all of them was up there, we was like literally reading it. And Akira was reading some of the messages out loud. She was reading hers and Devin's response. Y'all, when I tell y'all that stuff was so heartbreaking, when I tell you it gripped so hard and don't let go. Brene ain't did a speech yet. It did. I mean, when I tell you it gripped you to the point where like literally, like I felt like Juror number 2. Like, no lie, I wanted to vomit. I couldn't even. We had a 20-minute break. Y'all know. I mean, 20-minute break, and you know, normally I go live on my 20-minute break. I couldn't even do it. I could not do it. I couldn't even do it. It's so disgusting. What the message was saying, basically the messages was saying that it was like a message where Akira was checking in on Devin, and Devin was checking in. Okay, Akira had checked in on Devin, or either Devin had checked in on Akira via text message. But I think it was Akira. She asked him like how you holding up, how you doing, and then he was like, stated how he was doing. He was just like, all he, pretty much could do was cry. And she was saying she was like, he's just trying to take, each day, one day at a time. And then he was like, so she was like, he asked her, do you blame yourself? And she was like, yeah, I blame myself because I should never allowed the friendship and I should have set boundaries. And then he was like, I should have, set boundaries as well. And he said, but, it's my fault that I allowed certain things, to happen. You know what I'm saying? So he took accountability for not setting boundaries as well. And they both were. And it was like, well, it's really not your fault, it's theirs. And, overall, it's their fault. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, that was like, I think around like March. And then I don't know what happened because they had skipped a whole bunch of messages. Thank you guys. They skipped a whole bunch of messages and it went to July. And he had asked her, what did she tell you about the day she came to stay a week with you? And then he was like that you, she said, well, she didn't tell me anything. Tim said that y'all had an altercation and you was about to hit Brene. And he was like, that's not the truth. And he had wanted to talk, but she couldn't talk like in the moment. So what he did was he recorded himself detailing those, what had happened. He detailed not only that, but he started like from the beginning of like, when he just kind of like started noticing stuff, but he really wasn't sure. But I'm going to stop right here, y'all, because I'm going to run in and get something to eat real quick. But I'm going to tell y'all this. This is going to be a cliffhanger for y'all. This is going to be a cliffhanger for y'all, but I'm sorry, it's 1 o'clock. We're going to have to get back in the court at 2. So he was like, during this time that they was over there at Akira's and Tim's house, Brene had went down there doing that Martin Luther King video. If y'all have not seen Devin's video about when he was in that car, when he first broke his silence, it's on his page. August the 19th is when he did that video, I believe. I believe that's when he did it. Go watch that video. What he says in that video is pretty much, thank y'all for 1 meal, is what he been saying in court. But let me tell y'all this gonna be a cliffhanger. And I'm going to try my best to come back. I don't know what to expect when we get back in court, but I'm going to try to come back. Martin Luther King Day weekend. So he said that Tim came and got Brene on a Thursday. He said Brene was so damn happy, she was just cheesing from one ear to the other. Didn't I tell y'all that when she was talking about she was divorced, she was too happy? We good, we good, we good, we good. You know what I'm saying? She was too happy. He said she was cheesing so hard. And he was like, he came down there on he came down there on that Friday. He was like, they was up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning just talking. And he was like, why was they up? He said, when he said that was really weird, wasn't it? And he was like, he woke up, he was in and out of sleep. And he was like, Tim and Brene was still up. And he was like, he woke up and he heard that they were still up talking. So he played like he was asleep. But he heard their conversation. And he was like, they was talking about basically getting back together. He said, I ain't know if I want, he said, he ain't know what to do. He said they was just sitting up talking. He said they started spending more time together. After that Christmas holiday is which rolls over into Martin Luther King. He said they was just talking.
just having a whole conversation about them, you know, getting back together and stuff like that. And he said, I really want to get up and slap the fuck out of them. That's what he said on the recording. He said, I really wanted to get up and slap the fuck out of them. But he said, I ended up just waking on up and just saying that I couldn't go back to sleep. And he was like, I was just kept sitting there. And he was like, I was trying to see if I heard what I really heard. And he was like, yeah, I knew I heard what I heard. Devin was, listen, Brene was Devin's first girlfriend. They came out in court today. That was his first relationship. That was his first relationship. Y'all, I don't even talk about it. Let me go try to eat something. I don't even want, like, just...
I meant to go say, actually, you know what's funny? Robin is using everything that Apple's legal department has sent her.
When I tell y'all them videos on TikTok that Brene been doing all that, baby, being shown in 4K. Being shown in 4K. Do you hear me? Like, it's been an emotional morning and a whole day for everybody. Like, it is really, like, mind-blowing. Like, me telling y'all don't give justice as to, like, really seeing it in 4K. Like, to see the conversation that Devin and Akira was having and them trying to, like, literally console each other and let each other know that everything was going to be okay in that moment was crazy. And even worse for Akira, because, like, a lot of stuff she didn't know that Devin knew. And I said that, I told y'all that I felt like it was a lot of stuff Devin didn't know. I know. I'm gonna get out because I'm just too damn emotional, y'all. Listen, I don't know if it's hormones, menopause, or what, but y'all, when I tell y'all to read, like, we was reading the messages. When I say that the stuff, this is why she didn't like me, her mama didn't like me, nobody liked me, because literally, no lie, and that's not kudos to me. I'm not patting myself on the back, but I understand now. I've been spot on. I've been spot on. The shit, it's sickening. It's sickening, y'all. But I'm gonna talk to y'all later. It is sickening. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go, like, live. Y'all get on Barbie and Caramel live for break, because can you imagine your daughter going through some stuff like that? Your son going through that type of hurt? They didn't deserve that. Brene and Tim were very, very bold. They were very, very bold, y'all. A lot of these things that transpired with the infidelity and stuff like that, this stuff transpired when Akira and Devin were around. I mean, the level of narcissism that you have to have in order to do that is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. For you to have disregard for your wife, for Brene to have disregard for Devin, her husband, it's like, I promise you, today was the day that everybody just cried and cried and cried. This was a day of tears. It was a day of tears, because it's like, it's one thing to see certain things on social media, but to sit in there and hear just how disgusting and just to the point of disrespect that Brene and Tim took it, it's just, it was too much for all of us. Akira would consistently ask Tim, hey, Tim, you know, I don't feel comfortable with Brene doing this. The reason why Akira not halfway, it's like you seeing certain things, but just like we said on lives before, we knew that Tim was telling Akira certain things to make Akira feel like there's no way that he's messing with this girl. Because he spoke so ill of her, there's no way that Tim is messing with this girl. For goodness sakes, that's his cousin's wife. So Akira was not
like I've been told y'all, I said, because for the people that were saying, well, look, how did you not know? Why would you allow this person? Well, the questions were answered. She was not allowing. Akira had addressed it multiple times. Akira was saying, I don't like the way you dressing around my husband. I don't like the way you dressing around my kids. Could you please put on a bra? She had first told Brene. Then she went and told Devin because she said that she believed in a man correcting his wife. Those were Akira's words. Okay. So Akira stated so after she started seeing these videos that she found in the laptop, which Akira stated they shared for marital, there was a marital laptop, meaning that they both used it. Akira stated that she paid she paid half of the laptop, and Tim paid half of the laptop. Therefore, the laptop belonged to both of them. The judge was not even interested in the argument of who owns the laptop. He didn't care about that, because at the end of the day, when you marry, everything is everybody's. Meaning, the husband and the wife, everything is yours. And unless you got some type of documents that say otherwise, and even then, it can always be questionable. So nobody wants to hear that. The judge wasn't even interested in hearing that. So as Akira was going through these videos, seeing these videos, it was starting to click. It was starting to click. Okay, yeah. Everything that Attorney Robin, y'all, would put into it. First of all, as I told y'all yesterday, any evidence that's presented in court, it has to be given to the I believe it has to be sent to the opposing party before the trial, so that the opposing party has time to object, or they have they have time to have their say or whatever, that this is not true, or that's not how that happened, or whatever the case may be. That is, that's how that goes. It wasn't until, I guess, Attorney Robin would stand up and say, hey, I want to, submit this into evidence, exhibit 1, 2, 3, whatever the case may be. Every time Brene hasn't seen it, the link wouldn't open, the flash drive wouldn't work, she wouldn't see it. The judge was going for none of that. The judge was going for none of that. He didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to hear it. You've gotten the information, according to testimony, according to this, saying that you couldn't open something is not going to work. And then there was one instance, and I'll get to that later, where, okay, she claimed that she, and what I'm referring to is the audio that Devin sent Akira, the 18-minute audio voice note that Devin sent Akira about the affair that Tim and Brene was having. And she wanted to object. No, I haven't heard it. I haven't been able to hear it. The judge told all the jurors to leave the courtroom and had Attorney Robin play the audio in the courtroom before they came in, so that, guess what? He can say, okay, this is admissible, this is not admissible. Out of the 18-minute video, the only part that the judge would not let them enter into evidence, which for me, I'm gonna be honest with you, it wasn't detrimental to the case. I'm going to turn the comments back on, because I'm going to be honest with y'all. I like to see y'all comments. The only thing that the judge would not allow her to send, would not let the jury see the video, was the portion where in the first 2 minutes, Devin was telling Akira about Tim and Corinne being intimate. For y'all that's following, y'all know Corinne has been all over social media today, cutting up. This girl is a sociological, and she's a pathological and psychological. She need help. She need mental evaluation, all because we know that you was sleeping with Tim. It was stated, Devin in the audio that we'll get to the audio. Okay. So it says here, after seeing the video, she finally came to the conclusion that Tim was lying and Tim had been betraying her. I'm going to just read the notes for y'all. I said Big Nay in my notes. Big Nay seems to act as if she hasn't seen any of the evidence. Video of Big Nay and Timothy in the bathroom. Brene is brushing her teeth and Timothy stands behind her while she is gyrating and shaking her on his during this time when that video was going on. Akira was at work. Tim had told Akira that he was off from work, or he had told, so Tim had a death. Somebody in his family had passed away. And he was supposed to be on bereavement leave. While he's on bereavement leave for his cousin who had passed away, somebody had taken his cousin's life. He is in the bathroom getting gyrated on. Akira said in this video, as you can see, it doesn't look like he's very sad about his cousin. Okay, I'm sure it was the iCloud. That's how they saw it. That's how I got on the iPad. I'm sorry, on the laptop. And I'm pretty sure Tim probably sent it to the laptop so that he didn't have it in his phone. You know, men think they so smart. They think they're so smart. He probably took all that stuff out of his phone, sent it to the laptop, thinking that Akira's not finna go to the laptop, and thinking that Akira is so, that she's not gonna check it, and that's what happened. Okay? It says here, let me see, behind checking her butt, it said, Tim had, and he was on bereavement leave. Akira stated that while all of this was going on, she never thought that, as she was reviewing the videos and she was seeing certain things that was making her uncomfortable, she never felt like this could be true, because she looked at it, if it was true, she looked at it as incest. And remember, at this point, she didn't know about their prior relationship. She didn't know about nothing about no 14 years old and they used to date. Akira didn't know none of that. A correlation of the video was shown of Brene and Akira and Devin and Tim, all of their interactions. Attorney Robin put a video together, just multiple videos, by the way, that was posted by Brene. I told y'all from the beginning, the downfall of Brene was going to be her own obsession with posting everything, documenting everything. That is the reason why you're in the position that you're in. Had you not documented everything, I'm telling you, people, you kind of would have had to pull things. Yes, Akira had things in her phone. Yes, Akira had assumptions. But at the end of the day, recording the phone, making a video of you gyrating on him, you making a video of you describing, giving him the moon, the stars, and whatever, and explaining how you y'all had just finished being intimate, but those weren't your words. Your words were a lot more filthier. Saying how his gin made you throb. All while you standing in the house that Akira pays bills in. All while you're standing in the bathroom that Akira pays bills in. At the end of the video, Akira said Akira started crying when the part came up. Oh, so Akira was saying, as you can see in the videos, she can't seem to keep the video off of my then husband. As you can see, if I wanted to talk or anything, the camera would quickly like kind of turn and cut to Timothy. She said the video was always on Timothy. The video was always on Timothy. Even though you have a husband, even though you have a man, you have a husband. But the video is always on Timothy. He's always being shown. But we've been peeped at. Akira was crying when she brought up the video of when they were in Ulta and Brene was trying on perfume and asking her husband to smell it to see what he think. You don't ask somebody else's husband to smell perfume on you. That is intimate. That is intimate. You don't do that. Perfume is intimate. That is an intimate gift. Having people, naturally, it's a real thing. People get turned on by the scent of perfumes and colognes. People get turned on by that. And at this time, they were completely married. Yes, the pheromones. You don't do that. But see, your mama never taught you nothing. And if she did teach you a piece of something, as Tim told his wife, y'all were buckets. Y'all were easy. Y'all were the ones that got paid for favors in school. That's how your husband now described you and your sister, as people who got around. Akira said that her family in New York began sending videos of Brene to Akira's mother, saying, what is going on down there in North Carolina? What is going on? So Akira's family in New York had to send videos of Brene all over social media. Family in New York began sending videos of Brene to Akira's mother, saying, what is going on down there in North Carolina? What is going on? So Akira's family in New York had to send videos of Brene all over social media doing inappropriate things. When they sent the videos to Akira's mother did not want to present the stuff to Akira. Because what we have learned in this whole process is that Akira was a stand by her man type of woman. She was. She was very, very naivete, if you want to call it, when it came to Tim. That's the testimony, and that's kind of what everybody has picked up. Whatever Tim said is what went, because she loves her husband. Very submissive, very green, very just, well, if he's saying it, and then who would believe that somebody would want to be with Brene? I mean, when you look at Brene, she's not a person that you think that any man would lust over. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. I don't want to get ignorant on here, but I shall if I need to. Let's be...
Y'all, when I tell y'all, I didn't really expect for this to be the way it was. Thank you for the roses. I don't even know how much longer they're going to be in court. I don't even know, y'all. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you so very much. I don't know. Insanity. Exactly. I'm praying for, first of all, I want to applaud Akira and I want to applaud Devin, because when I tell y'all, they're holding up and they're handling themselves so very well. And I'm not saying they're perfect. Because we're all human. But when I tell you they're holding themselves up so good and handling themselves so very well, y'all had to be there to experience what I saw and what I heard. I am literally, and I may not be showing it, Hey y'all, everybody who's speaking to me, hello, how you doing? I am emotionally drained. Y'all, I was supposed to go to church tonight. I didn't even want to go to church. But anyway, the word is in my heart. I just needed to go get me something to eat. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you so very much, smooches. I just wanted to go get me something to eat and come home and rest my head. Rest my head. And I just need to pray and go on warfare. And I'm just amazed, y'all. I'm telling y'all. I know with some people there who just came who were spectators. I'm sure y'all probably didn't already heard a whole lot. I'm so impressed also with some of the content creators who came from all over the place. And when I want to tell y'all too, thank you. Woo woo woo. Rippin' Ninja is a cool dude, y'all. He's cool. He's so respectful. Black Goddess, she's so sweet. Thank you. Caramel Love, she's so sweet. Is it Black Barbie? Woo woo woo. Thank you. Y'all, those people are so sweet. Y'all, they're so sweet. It don't even matter. Like, I'm not for bullying. And it doesn't matter who you are. I'm not for that. Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the love. That's smooches. Hey, I never seen that one before. I'm not for the bullying, so I'm never ever gonna like or condone talking about somebody, no matter who you are. But those people are so cool. They were so down to earth. They were so sweet. They looked out for me. They took care of me. They asked me, was I okay? They asked me, did I need anything? They bought me stuff. I didn't even have to buy anything. Thank you for the roses, smooches. Y'all, but ooh. This court thing is more serious than what y'all think it is, what you realize it is. And so I heard somebody made a post. This guy made a post. And thank you for the gifts. Thank you. He says, you mean to tell me y'all actually went to court for this? Y'all took off from y'all job to show up at this? Or like, y'all really taking this thing too far? Like, y'all sitting here doing all this and reporting it back on social media where I don't have nothing to do with nobody do. If they want to take off from their job and go to court, that's their business. Obviously, it's free. I mean, you can go up in there. So I ain't got nothing to do with that. Tanya, was supporting my son. That's what I was doing. I was not up in there to be nosy. Y'all, I didn't know it was going to be to this magnitude, is what I'm saying. I didn't know it was going to be to this magnitude. I was not expecting to see none of the content creators there at the courthouse, is what I'm saying to y'all. I didn't know. Thank you. Whew. To hear some of the stuff that I heard, and when that's your child, and he's not a child, he's a young man. But y'all, that was a serious situation. And to know, sometimes your children try to take stuff on, and they don't want you to know stuff. Because Devin don't want to tell me stuff sometimes because he don't want me to worry. So it was some things that I didn't even know had happened till I came to court. Devin is covered by the blood of Jesus. And I'm telling him to, use wisdom. Because my son told me something about somebody had a dream about something. And then that's when, I guess, Tim showed up today with y'all already know. But the blood still works. Y'all had to be there, oh my God, to see the other side, the opposite side, to see how they were looking and responding and acting. If you're innocent, you have no reason to be a certain way. You have no reason to be angry. You have no... y'all had to be there. Woo, thank you. You had to be there, y'all. Like, I really didn't even want to go into talking about it, because that's not my thing, talking about stuff like this. But I felt like I needed to get on here and just talk to y'all. Let y'all know I'm okay. It lets me know I need to definitely pray for my son, for Akira, because they went through some stuff. Y'all know some people could have lost their freaking mind. Thank you. They could have lost their freaking mind. They could have hurt somebody. Y'all, and it made me cry. I was literally like, I wasn't boo-hooing, but I was crying because I was like, this is not just, my son is involved in this. And the other mom, y'all, it was so emotional. It was so freaking emotional. We are all okay. When I tell y'all, we had so much support there. People were so friendly. Did you shed a tear too? People was in there crying because it was just like, I can't believe I'm hearing this. I can't believe you're saying this. I can't believe you're asking these questions. And you literally have no remorse. No remorse. You feel like you did nothing wrong. Thank you. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you. You literally feel like you did nothing wrong. Thank y'all for the prayers. Keep praying. Keep praying for them, y'all, because it's not over. So I think Devin goes possibly on tomorrow. I think he goes on tomorrow as a witness, I think. So prayerfully, this will be over by Friday. All day from like 10 o'clock to 5. All day long. We had like maybe 3 breaks. But I applaud Akira because when I tell you she held herself up so very well. That girl is bad. She bad, y'all. Bad in a good way. She got it going on. Yes, she do. And I speak blessings on her. I speak everything that the devil stole from her will be restored back to her in Jesus' name. I pray for her mind, her children's mind, in Jesus' name. I thank you, God, that God will give her the desires of her heart, what she needs, and it's going to be given to her at the right time. I pray for my son, and I pray for peace for her, and I pray for joy for her, that God will give her that laughter back. She's probably already laughing, but he'll give her more laughter. Take anything that's in her heart out that she does, any hardness, any bitterness, any anger, any strife. And I pray for my son, peace over him, protection over all of us, in Jesus' name. That my son don't have any anger in his heart. That he finds that right woman, that godly woman, that's for him. I appreciate y'all coming on here, sharing your love, giving your comments, showing your support. And for those of you who are on here and you came to the courthouse, thank you. Smooches. I don't know if y'all coming back. Tomorrow I won't be there, but I know that he has a lot of support there. Him and Akira, Akira's mom. They have a lot of support. And the lawyer, she got it going on. Miss Robin got it going on, y'all. Will you be there tomorrow? Okay. She got it going on. That lady was ordained by the Lord. Yes, she good. So, yes, protection upon Akira and Devin. That's right.
Let me tell you how he identified Akira. He said, that's my cousin's wife. So, yes, they are cousins. Tim went in there shaking his head then. And it was like, well, how are you all cousins? Because I know many of you all been asking that question, well, how are they cousins? He said that somebody, daddy, granddaddy or somebody, I don't know if it's Tim granddaddy, but anyway, their granddaddies are related and that's how they are related. So it goes back to their grandparents. Period. Remember Brene said that I thought that they was playing and that they weren't cousins. But they are cousins. And he was like, their grandparents can explain it better than they can, but they are blood cousins. And you remember Brene was like, they were cousins and she thought they was for play, but she found out like for real, they're cousins. For real, they're blood cousins by blood. Like, yeah. So they are actually cousins and it goes from their grandparents. I don't know if it's the first, second, or third, but they're blood cousins. That's all y'all need to know. Y'all wants to know. It don't matter if they first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. Just know that they are blood cousins. That's all y'all need to know. Now y'all want to know if it's the first, second, or third. God dang it. Chill, y'all. Do it matter? Y'all just wanted to know if it was real, if they were actually cousins. Yes, I'm telling y'all, I'm confirming for you guys. So all the other stuff don't matter. I say that respectfully. So let me grab my notes. What is that? A squirrel? Girl, I'm about to take out my kneecap. Oh my gosh. Did y'all hear that? I guess I'm in the squirrel way. Baby, let me move. Hold on a second. Oh, y'all, it's so much. I wrote down specific like some of their messages almost word for word. Okay, so you know how Brene was like that they had filed for divorce. Devin said, no, we didn't file for divorce. You filed for divorce. And they was like, well, how did you file for divorce? And he was like, online. So Brene was like, how did you know that I did it? He said, I was right there. And then she was like, that's how she was, And so he was like, when I tell y'all she really didn't have no really cross, he described Brene in one of the messages between him and Akira, and I quote, he described her as a bully who isn't happy within herself. He said, Brene, listen, y'all remember when we talked about Brene had slept with Tim this particular night that Tim came over, and I think this was around February. Tell me why she lied when she said that she had not been touched by Devin in November. So in the interrogatories, they asked us who all she had, romantic relationships with. She said Devin Mayo up until November of 2023. And then she said Tim June 1st of 2024. Well, Devin said that he slept with her before Tim came over, and then she turned around and slept with Tim. Spent the rest of the night with Tim. Oh, let me tell y'all this, because y'all gonna want to hear that. Let me get in the light. Move back, squirrel. Let me get in the light when I say this so y'all can get me when y'all screen record me. I'll be in good light. Tell me why he disclosed to the courts that not only did she try to get a divorce online in January, she also gave Tim the money to pay for Tim's and Akira divorce too in January. Huh? Nobody. I don't think nobody. Do you hear me? This girl, he said that she tried to pay for Tim's and Akira's divorce in January. Now listen, when I tell you that girl had a plan, I need y'all to understand that she schemed. For all the people who kept talking about, oh, you can't make a person leave, you can't make a person do this. Baby, when I tell y'all, she went to the lengths, depths, and the heights to get that man. First, she signed for an apartment. Tim didn't leave the house until March. She signed for a lease for him, co-signed. This man had an apartment in January. Do you hear me? He had an apartment in January. She tried to pay for their divorce in January. Not only did she try to, she actually sent him the money. When I tell y'all, I didn't think that it could get any worse today. I would when I say we weren't prepared, we were not prepared for Devin's and Akira's truth. And so he was talking more with Akira because he was just he was so tired of seeing Brene spin this narrative, and he was like, she announced to the world that we were divorced when we weren't even legally separated. When I tell you, when I have a chance to really sit down and literally go from start to finish with this stuff, I'm gonna most definitely do it, because this
is insane.
Right, they right over there. There's a white guy, a black lady, they have stands and stuff. They were doing the little piece of supporting things. They sitting right here.
Put it, that's what he said, across all social media platforms, that they were divorced and they weren't even separated. Paying for Akira's and Tim's, like when I tell y'all everything Brene has been saying this whole time has been a lie. And it's like the level of delusion, because she was like, well, when we was he was like, well, if you was asleep, because you know Devin was like, I heard them talking about, you know, getting back together. And he was like, they was having conversations, and because they were having so much conversation, apparently it woke him up. So he played like he was still asleep, but he was actually woke. So she gonna say, well, were you woke or were you asleep? And he said, if I heard it, I was woke. Y'all know the sarcasm that we see. Y'all know the sarcasm that we see. Put it on YouTube, I will. Y'all know the sarcasm that we see, like Devin have now. Like, when I say I'm so proud of Devin, I am so proud of Devin. He looking them in their eyes when he's talking to them and he's communicating with them. He's not allowing anybody from their family side to intimidate him with their looks and their body languages and, you know, with the stuff that they are doing. Like, I'm reading, like, the emotions of that has been everything for me as well to, like, actually see and experience. But when I tell you they have literally ate Brene up from the witness stand, they are eating her up. So I'll come back with all the other little details to go word for word with you guys later on tonight. But let's talk about Akira's mom. So Akira's mom has now taken the stand. She describes her daughter and Tim's relationship. Man, I only thing that I can really say, I blame Brene. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I know that Tim is messed up for like how he's acting, but Tim ain't always been like that. That girl mama broke down. No, Tim is in court. They said he had bailed out. He's in court. Tim, when Akira mama took the stand, I'm gonna tell y'all, his emotions was totally different from what I've been seeing. Like when Akira talked about, you know, going in and out of consciousness, not remembering their second daughter's birth because she wasn't supposed to survive, is what we're seeing with Miss Vanita. But I hope I'm saying her name right, Miss Vanita, Miss Senor. Tim body language is much more relaxed. Is almost like he is sink in for him at moments where it's like, I really effed up, to be honest. When I say like his emotions, he's like this. He's breathing hard. You can see him. He ain't shaking his head, smiling. He not doing all of that he was actually doing. Go out and come back in if it's lagging. Stop asking about if he lock up. Just listen to what I'm saying. He's breathing more heavier as she talked. Tim does have a conscience. I'm gonna tell y'all, he act like he don't. And by Akira making the move that she made to literally separate from him, I think that's what got him. I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. I believe that what got him. He the emotions I would describe is one of emotional, but trying not to show his emotions. He don't show any anger. He don't shake his head. Like, his body language is completely different while Akira mom is on the stand. Like, it's just totally, I gotta get in some light, you guys. And I need to get some food. When I say totally different, I mean just that it's totally different. She was like, Tim asked for Akira's hand in marriage. And he came to her to ask for her hand in marriage. And she was like, you know, you're so young. Y'all are so young, you know. And he was like, Akira's my best friend. And he said, who better to build this struggle with than her. Wow. She talked about how he was there for her. How Tim was a family man. Tim was a family man that did what he was supposed to do in the very beginning as a man. You understand? He was a family man. The mom described him as being totally different from what they see. She was like the family didn't want. She was like the family didn't want. The family didn't want her to marry because she was so young. They were so young. But the mama said she promised them that if they do what they're supposed to do, and if Tim does what he was supposed to do, she was going to do everything that she could to make sure she helped them inside their union. And she did all of that. She said Tim was in college. She supported him. The reason why him and Akira couldn't be together while he was in college because they didn't have an apartment. She couldn't get an apartment in Wilson. She didn't even have the finances to do it. But they were living in her home. When she moved out of her home for a year to practice in Maryland, Tim and Akira stayed there. And she paid all the bills. She took care of all the bills just to make sure that she saw them make it. When I tell you, she talked about they was very family oriented, which they did show a bunch of pictures, showing how family oriented. They've never been separated before. That's a lie. Brene was on here talking about they were separated. She said they never been separated. The only time they were separated was because Tim was in college and had to stay on campus because he had a scholarship, and Akira was at home. Moderators, y'all can cut the comments. When I tell y'all that lady, Akira mom, held down her part, did what she's supposed to do. And after the separation, Tim just went AWOL. Completely just off the handle. He no longer, she said he wouldn't even buy pull-ups for the baby. He had only given them $90. He had given her 2 outfits, and then he gave them an outfit apiece, then came back and gave them another outfit apiece, and those outfits were too little. This your purse? Okay, I ain't want to walk off. I'm gonna go get in this line so I can get some food. When I tell you this was literally crazy, this was crazy. This was something else, y'all. I think the missing piece for us, like I said last night, was we never heard Devin's. We heard a little bit of Devin, but we didn't hear any of Akira's. So I'm gonna go through like the little notes with Akira, with her therapist. I'm gonna go through more notes between Devin and Akira. I did get a chance to write some of those down, like the ones that was like, everything really stood out. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but the ones that y'all wanted to hear more about that, so I'm gonna make sure that I do that tonight as well. We're gonna try to get through that, but it's something, y'all. We was talking to a lady who's been in the court listening in. She's in the course as well. And I think this may roll over to Monday. I don't think it'll be done tomorrow because there are so many other steps that after all the witnesses get through testifying, cross-examination and all of that, there's another portion. And then there's some more steps in between that before the jury even deliberates. So the jury will not be going into a deliberation on today for sure. They may deliberate tomorrow, and then they have to go by like the laws and stuff as it relates to the case. And then
we won't know like a true judgment until possibly Monday. If they do it before then, it'll be great by tomorrow. But the lady was like, when she got through explaining it, I was like, okay, yeah, I don't see that happening tomorrow. So it'll most definitely happen Monday for sure. Monday morning. It probably be wrapped up around Monday morning. But thank you guys. But y'all make sure that y'all following. I'm gonna try to keep y'all updated as much as possible. Fill you guys in as much as possible. All right, y'all. So today we started off with Akira's attorney. That's the first thing. So we did Akira's attorney. After Akira, we did Devin, and then after Devin was Tim. And we still on Tim. We halfway through Tim, but basically Akira lawyer came on. She says she's been working with Akira for about a year. From March 29th of 2024 up until present day. Akira was depressed with diagnosed with major depression disorder. Also, she was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. They worked on exploration of coping, exploration of patterns, exploration of emotions, relationship patterns, self, CBT, person-centered mindfulness, and motivation interviewing. She had been experiencing panic and anxiety-like symptoms. They started using exposure therapy for her as well because of the many places that Akira, Tim, Devin, and Brene would be. When she would go to those places, it was just like immediate triggers for her where she'll start feeling, having panic attacks, anxiety attacks. And so exposure therapy is like you have to expose the person to the very thing that caused them to have like panics and anxiety. And so her mom is one of the person who she has to be with, and that's just basically to ease her back into those different environments. And they did quite a lot together. So it was just like places had just been very traumatizing for her. If y'all never experienced that, that's something you don't want to ever experience. If you ever had a situation where, like somebody passed away and a certain spot just reminds you all the time, then that's what that's like. But for her, it's like everywhere. Akira lost her job due to communicating threat charge that she received. She stated that she was in an accident. Brene, Tim, his mom and his sister, God sister, came to the hospital with the children. To see about them. But Tim proceeded to take the kids. Y'all remember when Brene was like, oh, she don't allow him to do things for the kids. I think today we got a little insight on what she was talking about, but it didn't make sense. So there were times, I guess, before the child protective order, the custody order was actually like put in place. She wouldn't give, I guess, Tim the kids because the constant posting. She didn't want them to be around Brene. She expressed that to Tim that she did not want the kids to be around Brene. She did not feel safe. She did not feel the kids were safe when they were around her. She stated that if you don't like me, you don't like my kids. She stated it out of her own mouth. Like, it was just the stuff that a lot of people were saying. So she was going through these therapy sessions. A lot of times she had setbacks because of stuff that had happened. A lot of stuff that happened. Like, she will be making some progress, but due to the situation with Tim and Brene, due to the car accident, due to Brene not not abiding by the cease and desist letters that they had sent, and it was just a lot. So when she communicated the threat, the police was called, of course. They was like, Akira charged at Tim said Akira was charging at Brene, and that's why the mama put Akira in a headlock. I don't understand why nobody told Brene to go back to the car and sit this one out. I never understand that. Akira talked about not having support from Tim's side of the family. You know, when she was the one that was married to him, and also she's the one that had children with him. And like, the proof is in the pudding. They over there, Tim mama and Brene mama sitting together. It's like they have formed this union and are actually against Akira, as if she's like such this horrible bad person. So she would have like setbacks because of, you know, certain stuff. But they talk about the kids calling Brene mommy. So on August the 4th, 2025, the kids, she had a session, and she was saying that they were forcing the kids, Tim and Brene were forcing the kids to call Brene mommy. And she was like, she felt feelings of guilt, frustration, and a level of distress that can lead to self-destructing thoughts. Now, that's what her therapist put in her note, that situations like this will cause a person to literally self-destruct. So Brene started to cross-examine the therapist, and she tried to make it seem like, oh, that's just like, this is just all in Akira's head, that a lot of this is about Tim, her, talking about Brene, and the children. And we was looking so confused, because we were like, well, what else would this be about? Like, you and Tim are the one who caused so much pain and hurt, and this is why she feels the way that she feels, and this is why, you know, she's even in this position where she needs a therapist, because of what you guys did to her and what you continue to do to her, you know, and with her children. So things like that will set her back. On August the 18th, she came back for another session, and it was the challenges of co-parenting. And they talked about how Akira's daughter had her hair done when she went to Tim, and of course Tim was over there with Brene. So they took her braids out of her head. So I think that picture where you guys, I don't know if that's the same picture where Akira had did like this post. I don't know, and it was showing the baby, I guess the baby's hair, but they took the baby's braid out of her hair. And it's like, if I see my child somewhere and her hair is done, that means her hair is done for a reason, so you don't have to put your hands in her hair. And so Akira said to her therapist that was mean. So Mr. Charles Hands asked the therapist, like, well, what do you mean? You know, and she was like, the therapist identified Brene as Tim's mistress, that, you know, the mistress was causing some of these issues and problems instead of just allowing Tim to co-parent with, you know, his wife, because they weren't even divorced at this time. And so they talked about how Akira started to become impaired. Like, her anxiety and depression was like so bad, where she wasn't able to like function normally like a normal person. So that's what you call a dysfunctioning depressed person. You have some people who are highly functioning depressed people
they go on, they laugh, they smile. You'll never know until like they take their you know what I'm saying, LIFE. But she described how Akira looked when she first started coming to her. She said Akira had no, she didn't say that, the mom said it. I talk about how the mom described her. She said that Akira had, her hair was black. It was like in a messy bun. She wore these big, large, oversized tops with leggings and flops. She even with that, she looked it kept, but you can clearly see she was just a depressed person. How she looked today, she say she looks way better than she did when she first, started working with her. Akira mama talked about how Akira lost a lot of weight. And of course we see that, you know what I'm saying? We most definitely saw the amount of weight she lost, how she would not eat. She would be in the room, she would isolate, always crying. She stated how the daughter, her baby, would just, sense that something is wrong. And how, y'all, that was emotion for me, because I went through that with my baby. So like I can relate to that so well. Oh God. I can relate to that so well, because children do pick up on your energy. And I've always said that ain't no way that them kids don't know what's going on with their mom. Like, even if they can't articulate, they know, they feel what she feels. And she was like, the baby will crawl up in Akira's lap and ask her, if she's okay. And the mama say immediately, the tears would just be falling. The therapist encouraged Akira to stay off social media, so that, she will be able to get through. And Brene asked the therapist, well, did she listen to you? Did she stay off social media like you asked her to? The therapist said she did. She did. Y'all, we didn't see her. Then we saw her for a little bit. Then we didn't see her at all. So I think she had got to a point where she was just literally trying, to cope the best way she could. And then we saw her leave. So, Brene gonna ask the lady, well, are you the one who diagnosed her? I said, baby, do you just not see that woman's title? She's a licensed clinical social worker. That's what I'm going for. That's my goal for next year, is that I work on my LCSW. I said, I'm just sitting there. I'm just saying stuff to Barbie and Caramel, because I'm just like, I know this my area right here. I'm like, yeah, we use the DSM-5 to diagnose. And if anybody don't know, for major depression, like, you have to have 6 months. It's like persistent for 6 months or more of symptoms. And not feeling like you lose interest in wanting to do things like your daily activity, hobbies and stuff like that. That sadness and just them symptoms. But the main key is the time. So that's what makes it major. You know what I'm saying? You have like your depression, but you have major depression is when it persists for more than 6 months or more. So she asked her, asking her, did somebody, like, did she give her the diagnosis or did somebody else? And so the lady had to tell her that we are led and guided by this book, which is the DSM-5 book. And LCSWs are, even though I did it at the hospital, the doctors will come back and confirm it, or I'll use their previous ELF code. So it was she really didn't even have to cross examine her, but I guess she was just trying to make it be something. So she was going on and on, and she asked the therapist, well, with these type of
diagnosis, and I mean, she said, well, what I see here in these files, don't you think that this is more about her former husband, me, and her children? I'm like, y'all, this is why this is this. I'm just like, Brene, what's not clicking up here? Like, what's not clicking up here? She's in this position because mentally you all are affecting her. Mentally, she can't be what she needs to be to her children. You know what I'm saying? Be whole to her children because of the stuff that you do. So then when they talked about so then she gonna ask the therapist about the hospital thing. She gonna say, I don't know, because I wasn't there. So then she said, did you know the police? She said, I don't know, because I wasn't there. And so I'm sorry, when I say she answered that girl so good, so she was like, well, did you know? Well, it read and said that Akira was feeling like she don't know what she would do if she encountered her partner, no, her husband's partner. And so the therapist came back and said, well, if a person is antagonizing you, and I'm speaking for myself, if I'm being antagonized, if you being antagonized, and if she being antagonized, of course you're already in a mode of I gotta do whatever I gotta do to defend myself. You know what I'm saying? At all times. So she was basically saying that Akira wasn't saying like, oh, she won't hurt her, she just gonna go out and hurt her. So Mr. Charles did a redirect to that question with the therapist, and she was like, he was basically was showing that if she wanted to do something in that moment to Brene, she would have done something to Brene. Like, duh. Like, if she really, really wanted to do something, and like Akira say, like, I don't like conflict, but when it comes to my kids, it's war. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's war. So, she was like, no further questions. Y'all. So after that, she said, the therapist said, if someone is antagonizing you, any individual will take all measures to protect themselves. That's how she put it. So then Devin came up. Y'all, I got to reenact this because I just want y'all to like understand. I got 14,000 people in here. 14,000. Can I get one person to send me a super live gift? Just one. I need not one person, but I just need all of y'all to send me a super live gift. That's the super live. It's right there. Just send me one. I'm finna tell y'all. So they called Devin. Devin, get up. I just need everybody to send me a super live. Help me fill it. 15. Look at 15,000 people. Devin comes up. I'm finna do it both ways. I got to show y'all. This is why I got super live, because it's a super live. And I'm finna be here for about 3 hours. So y'all, please just go ahead and fill my gift. My gift dog. So this is Devin comes up. Baby, when I tell y'all they can't mess with Devin no more. I don't know who they thought Devin was, but Devin is not the same person that he was when they did what they was doing. He ain't the same person. So Devin gets up. Devin like this. I'm talking about when I say Devin locked eyes with Tim. When I say Devin locked eyes with Tim and he wasn't smirking, Devin was just like, he got up and he was just like, whatever. He on whatever time that they on. Right hand to God. He was like on whatever time that they was on. So Devin is like this. He walking, confident. I mean, his stance and everything was just like, you can tell that he wasn't like, he ain't playing. Here go Tim. Because it's Tim who doing the little slick stuff. he up there looking at him like this. That's how Tim looking. So Devin takes a stand and he's smiling. And he's smiling. He identified Akira as his cousin's ex-wife. He described Tim and Akira marriage as a loving family, as loving, and they was very family oriented. He said as a couple, they would go on dates. He would go on dates with Tim, Akira. They would do like arcades, dinner dates and stuff like that. They would go to each other's house. Chill. Ooh, thank you. Thank you. They would just do a whole, just do stuff together. He said they spent Christmas week with the Montagues. With Montague. I gotta get that right. So this is where we're gonna break it down. I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna try not to stumble. And I'm gonna try to make sure that I'm reading it and giving y'all it. So please just be patient with me, because it's a lot. Inside of this, I'm gonna be back and forth with like messages, direct messages between him and Akira, and then also I'm gonna be trying to fill in a lot of the gaps as it relates to questions that we may have had. So Christmas pretty much happened the way that he said it in that video, but however, we had a little bit more insight. So he was like, prior to Christmas, him and Brene really ain't had he would say no issues. The whole thing about Brene wanting a separation, wanting a divorce was really like sidetracking. You know what I'm saying? He said they never she never suggested no counseling. Counseling was never brought up. He was like really blindsided by the whole thing of Brene even wanting a divorce and not understanding why she wanted a divorce. So he was like, they weren't even supposed to go spend Christmas with Akira them. Brene wanted to go because, she really felt like her family didn't care about her. Her family didn't love her. Like she was like the black sheep of the family, that they favor Korean more than they favor her. She was basically a cash cow. Then also too, if y'all remember, this was the time that she had got into it with her family. About their group chat, they was talking about her. It was just, that girl just needs some help. That's all I'm gonna say. But I don't know. I just have very mixed feelings when it comes to her. So they ended up spending that Christmas with Devin said they went to spend that Christmas with Akira them. So he said somewhere along the way, he stated old feelings started arising between Brene and Tim. And he was like, he recounted when he was asleep. So Akira would sleep in their marital bedroom. The children would sleep. Hold on, y'all. Let me slow down because I need y'all to understand this, because the way Devin painted it, it was like, oh my God. Devin was over there asleep on the other side of the living room. So just like this side of the room. Well, guess what Tim and Brene was? Over here, laid up, as if they was a couple. And Devin was like, Tim and Brene was having all this conversation. And, while he was asleep, to the point it woke him up. So he was like, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And he was like, he ended up hearing them say, well, if I take you back, you promise you won't leave this time, or something to that effect. And so he said I wanted to slap the F out of both of them, but I just went on ahead and set up, and woke up and just act like, I couldn't go back to sleep. And he said that's when they tried to go back to sleep. So I don't know who asked, if it was Attorney Robin who asked him, where were they, sitting there. He was like, I was on the other side. And he stayed where Kira was, where the children was. He was on the other side of the living room. And Brene and Tim was laid up on the couch together in Akira's house. He said he felt very disrespected and played with, but he chose silence over violence. He said after that, shortly after they left and they went back home after the Christmas holiday, he was like, that's when stuff just really started like changing, and it just got real bad. He was like, they was driving, and then all of a sudden Brene bust out the crying, and she was like, she wanna forgive Tim for being with Corinne, for what he had done. And he was like, well, if it ain't nothing, why is you crying? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you can forgive him for what he done. You ain't got to hold no grudge, but he was so confused as to why she was, crying. And he was like, right after that, she was just like, I feel like we need to, he said, first get a separation so that we can better our relationship. Then it went from, she wanted to separate because she wasn't happy. And she wanted to explore being with other people. And then it went to she wanted a divorce. So he was just so confused. She wanted to look for love because she wasn't happy. And I said, look for love with Tim. She wanted to be, he started saying that during this time, Brene and Tim just started getting closer and closer and closer. He was like, she'll be up in the bed talking to Tim till like 5 o'clock in the morning. Just literally just talking to Tim till like 5 o'clock in the morning. And he was just like, what in the world, in disbelief. He said, he didn't know how to act and respond to it at first because Brene was his first relationship. He just, didn't want to do. So it is safe to say, now I don't know, there's a possibility that we found out Tim said that Brene took his virginity. We'll get to that later. But he said Brene took his virginity. Took it. I believe it. Took it. Just took it. He said later on, she started becoming more cold-hearted to him, looking at him like, she was disgusted with him. And then when Tim came around, she just would light up. So how I told y'all, like, she really couldn't be sad about going through a separation and a divorce with her husband when she brought it to the internet because she was too geeky, ha ha ha. I told y'all that was because of Tim. Devin confirmed that on the stand today. That when Tim came around, she was lit up. We saw that. We saw that in the videos. When she kept talking about this is her happy for real. Yeah, because it was Tim. They had chosen to be with each other. So, he said then Tim will start coming over more to each other's house. That he would take her, that they would go shopping together, eating together, and just doing things that they was doing more of the videos. He said that during the Christmas holiday, they was getting ready to go to the store, and y'all saw where Brene and Tim went to the grocery store without their partners. Brene tell Devin, I'm not putting you in the video. And he was like, he didn't understand because he was just in the video with the 5-year renewal thing, the cookie video. So he was like, he didn't understand. And that's why we saw more of Tim and Brene, because that's what she wanted. She didn't want Akira. She didn't want Devin. She wanted it to be just her and Tim. He was like, they were, then he said that they were having XEX in the house of January of 2024. And so Robin said, well, how do you know that they was having XEX in the house? And he said, because I heard it. So I'm thinking that Devin got some cameras or something in his house, but he was like, nah, I heard them. And he was like, and then she was like, well, how often would Tim come over to the house? And that you heard and known that them to have XEX. And he was like, Tim came over to the house like 3 or 4 times that he know of that they were actually intimate. And he's like, Tim was in the home 3 or 4 times in December of 2023. And he said, one time Tim had the son with him. Now this what broke Akira, because she didn't know this, and you can tell she did not know this. He was like, one time Tim had the baby boy with him, and he was like, him and Brene and Tim were in the guest room, and he was, I guess out there in the living room, but he was like, Brene called for the son to bring her some wipes because to clean herself up, because her and Tim had just got through having SEX. She called the baby boy, called the baby boy, told him to go get her some wipes, bring it to her, and Devin said that was for her to clean up. Now, how would Devin know that? He would know that because that's his wife. When I say nasty, y'all, when I tell y'all, everybody, all you heard was, oh, I'm talking about everybody. It was like a jaw-dropping moment, because I was just like, ain't no way, y'all, that's it. Akira was just sitting up there bawling. When I say boo-hoo and crying, you can tell that she just, that's something Devin ain't never said to her. Never said to her. She never heard that. Like, us here, and I mean, that girl just up there bawling. Woo! And so they asked, well, why you didn't sell Akira? He was like, I didn't want that burden on me of if I told her and Tim and her family fall apart, that would be on his conscience. So he was like, I didn't say nothing. So then these are some of the messages that were between Akira and Devin. So one of them was like, do you ever blame yourself? And basically she was like, I feel you on she said, I feel like I should have paid more attention and shut down things, but I never expected anything like this to happen. Either that was her or Devin. So it was like Devin was like, that ninja was like my effing brother, and I trusted him, and I didn't think he'll do me like this right in my face. And so Devin was like, he needs to move on, but he haven't had closure with Brene because she keep telling him lies. So both of the parties were receiving lies from their partners. Brene was telling lies, Tim was telling lies, and that, she meant nothing to him. Devin saying that he was trying to get an understanding of why she wanted a divorce and separation, and
that's when he disclosed that she never had wanted counseling. And so when Brene cross-examined Devin, thank you, love. Ooh. When Brene cross-examined Devin, she was just like, well, if all of these things was going on and you seen it, and he was like, because it did say in the message that he had, by the time he really just started peeping out things, it had gotten out of hand. It was pretty much like it was too late, because they was already messing around with each other by the time that they realized. He said that Brene asked him, well, how would you feel if y'all don't know about that video? There's a video where Brene was like, when Devin broke his silence, and she was like, boy, and she was like, I don't even remember asking him that question, and if I did, it was a hypothetically speaking type thing. Y'all remember that video? So she did say it, but how are you going to hypothetically speak on being with somebody who ain't even available for you to be with? That's the thing. I don't understand that. And so at some point, Brene was just like, she wanted to rekindle. Hold up. She wanted to rekindle. What would you do if me and Tim were to rekindle what we had? And he was like, he said he'll be happy for them. But he was like, he was just saying something because he really wasn't in his right frame of mind. Like, you know, he wasn't talking about literally speaking. He was just still trying to process everything and what was going on. So Brene asked him, well, what is your definition of rekindling? And he said, what you done did now. Basically saying that you and Tim decided that y'all wanted to be together, and he said, ain't y'all together now? That's what rekindling means, to get back together. Lord have mercy. When I tell you Akira and Devin was eating Brene up from the stand, they was eating. I'm talking about she be slick, but the way that they came back to eat her up. And so to the point where I know with Akira and Tim, the judge had to send the jurors out because he was like, we're not going to do this editorial stuff. We're not doing all this editorial. But my thing was, Brene was asking stupid questions, but she got sophisticated answers. Clapback answers. Do you hear me? So it was really something. They wanted to know how often did he bring the kids to the house with him, you know, to basically be with Brene. So let's talk about the divorce situation. Devin said he didn't want no divorce. When I tell y'all, I'm gonna slow it down just a little bit more and break it down to you guys. So January was a very interesting month for Devin, Akira, Brene, and Tim, and this is why. Brene came up with this plan, and you cannot tell me that this was not a plan, and I need y'all to follow me very carefully when I say this, because it was most definitely a plan. Devin said that in January, Tim and Brene had went apartment shopping. That she co-signed for Tim an apartment. So Robin was like, well, how do you know? He was like, because I was there. Not only that, Brene tried to get a divorce from Devin in January by going online and filling out paperwork. You know when she said she illegally, you remember when she said she illegally did it? That's what she was talking about. She went online. So Devin confirmed that I didn't want no divorce. You wanted a divorce, and therefore you went online and got these papers. Then he went on to say, when I say another, it was another jaw dropping moment.
He was like, not only did you do that, but you paid for Tim and Akira's. You tried to pay for Tim and Akira's divorce. And he was like, you sent money to Tim so that Tim could file for divorce from Akira. Y'all, when I said I ain't think it could get any worse after that baby stuff, I'm just like, oh, it's just gonna be snowballing today. Because, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I was telling Caramel Love this earlier. I was like, she really based that off that text in January where Akira had told Tim that, you know, after I think she found those videos that she just, you know, they can just go their separate ways. And like I said, people say that all the time, they don't be really meaning it. Tim was like, that ain't what I'm not saying that that's what I want, basically. He was like, I ain't say that all that, you know. And so I believe Brene literally started striking at that moment because the timeline just add up for January. They had sex. Akira sent him this text message saying that. Tim responded back saying that I wasn't saying all of that as far as like divorce thing. And then he was like, so I feel like Brene had striked at that moment. She was trying to divorce her husband and try to go ahead and get this man divorce his wife so that they can be together. And giving him the money. So she was like, how do you know that she gave him the money? He said, I was there. I said, Poe Devin. Poe Devin. So then Brene cross-examined Devin. And she was like, how you know that I gave Tim the money? He said, because I was there. That's how he said it to her. And he was like, well, how you know that I was in there being intimate with Mr. Montague? He said, because I heard y'all. My thing is, like, as a juror, I would be sitting there was like, why was you even in a room? Why were you even in a room with closed in a room with somebody else's husband? Why? She a sick individual. I don't know no other way to say it. Like, when I tell you that girl is a sick individual, she's a sick individual. And
Goddess, hold on. I just want to say this real quick because the comments is off and I know everybody want to say this. You is clocking it, honey. You is doing it. The story is piping hot and it's tea just burning my mouth.
Oh, God. Y'all comments for a minute. Y'all open it for a minute. Let me take a break.
Oh, people is screaming at their phones right now.
Like, open the comments for a minute, just for a minute.
You just gave us so much tea at one time, and I'm literally, it's spilling on my dress, it's spilling in my mouth, it's my hands is burning. I am hot.
Yeah, that is crazy. Y'all, it was literally so much worse than what we thought.
Did they ever tell you what Tim did with the money?
No, because he most definitely didn't file for no divorce. He most definitely didn't file for divorce.
He took that money and spun it.
He most definitely didn't file for divorce. Nope, he didn't do it with the laptop. That laptop, he claims that he used his refund check to get that. Tim was like full of lies today. We gonna get to that part. Y'all don't mute nobody. Block everybody. Don't mute nobody. When I tell y'all, I was sitting up here like, oh my gosh. And I was remembering like things that Brene had been saying on, you know, social media, especially TikTok, about, oh, he lied. They knew. Like, I'm still waiting on the truth. And I knew that she was going to use, oh, thank you. I knew that she was going to use text messages from Tim, videos from Tim that was between Tim and Akira. I knew Tim was going to supply her with that information to clap back at Brene. When I tell y'all,
I have never seen no mess like this. The way, and I'm kind of going to skip let me go through this real quick. So there was a text message where Devin had told, Devin and Akira was telling each other that they didn't deserve what had happened to them by their partner. Akira told Devin, to get him a woman of God and find his real. Y'all, when I tell y'all, this was March 28th of 2024. Like, the message between them, of them, like, really checking in on each other, because she was like, why did you text? It would be like, hey, Akira, or hey, sis, I'm just checking in, to see how you doing. It was like, and he was like, and so Robin was like, well, why did you do that? Why did you feel the need to sit there? He was like, because if I'm sitting here feeling the way that I feel, I know that she's over there feeling the same way. Y'all turn off the comments. Whew. So she wouldn't talk when Devin kept saying that he was there. She had no argument. She had no argument about Tim being there. No argument about them doing the do. She couldn't really say nothing. It was just, she was really, how Cameron was like, she was really looking STUPID. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I talk about that already. So there was a part of their conversation where Devin had, when he found out that Akira was suing Brene, he wanted to know, would he be tied up in any of it? And she was just like, no. And he was like, Akira said people were sending her things and that it's embarrassing, but God would handle those things. And so he was like, it's crazy how his family came to support him like that, but they didn't provide no support to her. And she was telling Devin that, that you don't have to deal with Brene anymore. And the reason being because they didn't have any children. And she was like, this is different for me because I got to deal with them for the rest of my kids' life. She didn't say the rest of her life. She said the rest of my kids' life, which was made things more complex. And then Devin said to her, I don't think anyone know how serious it is. A lot of people don't make it out of these situations alive. Baby, that got everybody. When I tell y'all that choked up the audience, that choked us up. When he was like, people don't realize how serious it is, because they was just on social media just doing the most, which we seen Tim and Brene, especially Brene, just doing the most. And he was just saying people don't realize how serious of a situation this is and that people don't come out alive. And can you imagine wanting to hurt other people, wanting to hurt yourself, just up and down with emotions? Devin described Brene as a bully who isn't happy with herself. That's how he described her. He was like, just encouraging Akira, not to allow Brene to see her break and sweat, and stuff like that, because she ain't nobody but she ain't nobody but a bully who isn't happy within herself. Then Devin said that he was intimate with his wife the day that Tim came over, and she turned around and was intimate with Tim. And she went in the bedroom with Tim and never came out.
spent the rest of the night in there with him. Brene Study was asking him, why you didn't say nothing to me? Why you this? Why you that? He said, like I said, silence over violence. She asked something and he was like, I don't know, you want me to rephrase that? You want me to rephrase that? What's your definition of rekindling? He said, getting back together like you are in a relationship now. That's exactly what he said. He asked her about why she didn't have a conversation with him January the 17th of 2020. I think they had a conversation January the 17th of 2024. And she asked him, why wasn't your feelings addressed with her? And he said, because it will always be turned back on me. She asked him, she said, is your testimony? She asked him, are you suing Mr. Montague? And he said, yes. And she said, well, don't you think your testimony is a little biased? He said, no. So then Akira mama take the stand. Ooh, y'all got so many notes from today. Akira mama takes the stand, and Robin asked her, who was Akira. She stated who Akira was. She asked her to tell the dynamics of Akira's and Tim's relationship. She said that they had a good marriage. She stated that, and she got very teary-eyed. Well, she started crying because she was like, Tim came to her and asked for her hand in marriage. And she was like, y'all too young. You know what I'm saying? Because she was like, Tim had to been like 20. Akira had to been like 18 or 19. But she was like, they were too young. And so he was like, he told her, Akira is my best friend. And who else to build this struggle with other than her? So she said, despite my family not agreeing and wanting, Tim and Akira to be married, they still supported them inside of their decision. So the mama was like, the only thing I want you to do is keep your word and do right by my daughter. That's all I want you to do. And she said that she told them that as long as they do that, she will always happen. And so she will always make sure that they were good. So Robin said, did you keep your word? She said, I did. She said that she had just graduated, I think, law school. And she had to do something like off in Maryland. And she ended up having to be down there for like a year to work or whatever. It was like two things. I can't remember. But she was like, she left Tim and Akira in her home to live. And while they were there, she took care of all the bills because Tim was in school and Kira wasn't making enough money, but she took care of all the bills. She said she left them credit cards for emergency purposes. And she said, and they used it and they maxed it because it was always an emergency. But hey, I was doing whatever I needed to do to help them inside of their marriage and make things a little bit more, easier for them as much as I could. She talked about how Tim ended up wanting to do something special for Akira. And she wasn't lying because Tim got on the stand after her and basically tried to act like Akira didn't mean SHIT to him. Do you hear me? I don't know if y'all can tap the screen while I'm here, but it's 20,000 people on the live. Let's tap. In July of 2023, y'all follow me with these dates. In July of 2023, Tim came to Akira's mom and said that he wanted to surprise her for her 25th birthday, 2023. If y'all don't know, Akira's birthday is August of 2023. So I think it was June or July. But anyway, she was like on July 16th of 2023, there was text messages between Akira's mom and Tim where, he wanted to, do something, special for her. So Akira had told, her mom that, she didn't really want to do nothing big for her birthday. If she did anything, she wanted it to be small. So they knew then that they needed to do something a little bit different. But y'all, I'm finna tell y'all, because this is where it's finna get real interesting at. So she was like, okay, so they were gonna do just close friends and family. They did a guest list. The plan was to do a surprise birthday dinner for Akira at this specific location, and there was going to be only a certain amount of people there. Y'all, when the mama, they pulled up the text messages. Y'all, we seeing it at 4K. They done pulled up the mama text message between Tim and the mama. They had the date planned, the place, the communication between them. He was talking about how Akira deserved it. They had the guest list. Y'all, it was a girl named Kyra who the mama said was Akira's best friend since she was little. And I'm finna say this before I get to what I'm about to say. So that you all will understand how the mama was saying it to us. She said, my daughter do not bring any and everybody around her family. She said, and to give you an example, she said Akira was like in grade school and she had 3 friends that had came over to stay the night with her. 2 of her friends was talking about how cute her brother was. She told them, y'all can't come back to my house. And she said, and you know what? They never came back. She said the only person that ever came back was her friend Kyra. So y'all, on the guest list was her friend Kyra. Number 1. Number 2 was Brene's name. It was Kyra, Brene, and then the list went on. Yeah. Brene was number 2 on the list, on the guest list. It was written for us. It was out there. It was black and white. Do y'all hear me? It was black and white. And I mean, it was like the text message that, you know how you do like in a note and it's like in a form of a picture and you attach it to the message. Ain't no altering that. Why she wanted to be talking about messages be altered, and Brene was number 2. And then she said Brene didn't even show up. She said Brene, in the interrogatory it asked, was Brene at Akira's mama's house for Christmas? Brene said several times, every time they asked that question, she kept saying no. This woman say Brene, she said that she didn't meet Brene until 2023. Right? She met her in 2023. Even though she had heard about her, she never met her. You know what I'm saying? She knew about Brene. And that's why she talked about, you know, Akira, and when Akira brought her around the family. Even though she had been there in Akira's life, the mama never met Brene formally until Brene came to her house. And she said when she came to my house, she was like, David was in my doorway and his back was leaned up against the wall. I'm talking about very detailed. And she was like, Brene was smushed up against Devin. And she was like, her mama was like, girl, you standing up there like somebody wants your man. And she said they all bust out the laughing. And that's when Brene came over and sat by her. And she said when she sat by her, she had these nails. She said these long nails. And it was Hello Kitty on there. And she said Brene was just talking to her about the charms. But Brene act like she wasn't at the lady house.